Hey everybody, today we're going to have a quick car video on, today our video is going to be about the topic of how do I go to the tanning salon safely during the coronavirus pandemic. So last week I did a video about how I do my grocery shopping, and in that video I did forget to mention that I always wear my ionic necklace in public, which I've talked about these before. This one's pretty beat up because it's my favorite one. I have a few of them. But if you do not know much about the ionic necklaces, I highly recommend Googling it and looking it up and seeing what kind of information you can find out, seeing if it's something that might work for you. In my opinion, I think it's a great idea for everybody to have one. I have several that I rotate and alternate out. So they're also really good for kids. You can get kids ionic necklaces, but yeah, I did forget to mention in my grocery store video that of course I always wear my ionic necklace 24/7, and I always make sure it's facing the right direction. So anyways, so first things first, when I go to the tanning salon, I always pick a day where it's not going to be very busy. So I always have a rule: I will not go on a Saturday. I usually won't go on a Friday either. I will go on a Sunday afternoon, like say early afternoon, because the place that I go is not very busy at all. And more often than not, I will drive a little bit further. I will drive about 30 minutes to go to a salon that's in a more rural area, and an area that's just not as there's not as much city. So like, for example, I live in kind of like a more urban area, like suburban / urban, but I drive to a more rural / suburban area to go to the tanning salon usually. Now, if I'm in a hurry and I don't have much time, which that does happen occasionally, I will go to the one that's closest to my house. But I have a membership with Palm Beach Tan, and Palm Beach Tan is really a great leader in their cleanliness and just in general. I've been using them for years. I was using a different salon for a while, but Palm Beach, in my opinion, nationwide really is really the leader in tanning, in my opinion. So now, of course, I thought about just buying my own tanning bed and just using one at home, but the thing is, it's kind of stressful to upkeep with something like that. Keeping up with the maintenance, replacing your bulbs can get really expensive. Plus, they pull a lot of electricity, like a lot. It gets really expensive really quick. So I just go once a week. I used to go more like twice a week before the pandemic. Now I just go once a week. And so I get like basically the highest membership that I can. I have the membership where I can use the most high-powered beds. So the thing about using the highest powered beds, if you have the best membership that you can get, is it's more expensive, yes, but you really never have to wait for a tanning bed. Like if say someone's in there before you or whatever, like because you have access to the highest quality of tanning beds that they have, because most tanning salons will have different levels that you can choose from. So if you have the highest level, that leaves you with the most selection. So you're in and out a lot faster, and you're also getting a higher dose of UV light, so you're not needing to go as frequently. And so that right there is a really huge thing. So if you're on the highest level, the highest membership, you can get by with a lot fewer tanning sessions. So, and what's also good about this is when you're getting the higher powered UV rays, so the UV light kills and sanitizes, it disinfects. And it disinfects the air around you. So when you're in that tanning bed, you can feel pretty safe. However, I know this is going to sound really weird and people probably hate on me for it, but I wear my mask in the tanning bed and I double mask. And so I've talked about double masking before and how I do it and why I do it. So I double mask just like when I go to the grocery store or whatever. I double mask in the tanning bed. I do not take my mask off from the moment I walk in the salon until I get back to my car, at least till I'm outside in the fresh air. So it's really easy. I mean, at first it was really weird wearing a mask in the tanning bed, and of course, you don't get a tan around that area where your mask is. So I do use self-tanner on my face though a few times a week, and that kind of evens everything out. But some people don't tan their face at all, or they won't tan their face face much. I do like to tan my face, but right now it's just the best I can do. I'm not going to take my mask off. I don't feel like it's safe. So, you know, obviously most people are going to take their mask off when they get into their room. And once they get in the tanning bed especially, they're going to take their mask off. So, and, you know, if you are going to take your mask off in the tanning salon, I recommend waiting until you're in the tanning bed and keeping it in there with you and putting it back on before you exit the tanning bed if you're going to have to take it off. Just because once you exit that tanning bed, and especially once you exit that room, you know, you're back with other people and the aerosols that could be in that facility. So, and you know, a lot of people think it's really stupid. They're like, oh, well, you don't just get it. It's not like airborne like that. But no, it seriously is airborne, guys. Like, seriously, it's been scientifically proven. So that's how people get it. You get it from the aerosols in the air. They're very, very tiny particles, and they can live in the air for a period of time. So it's just important to be careful, you know. And a lot of people have criticized me for even going to the tanning salon because I'm so careful about what I do. And I'm so careful about my protocols and my practices, and I'm just extremely careful in general. So people criticize me for that, but then they also criticize me for being too careful. So, but what I say to people is, you know, if there's something that you feel like you have to do that you cannot live without, just be as careful as you possibly can. You know, if you're the type of person that you feel like you can't live without going shopping every now and then, or going to the mall, you know, if you're going to do that, just be smart about it. Do everything you possibly can. Do your research. Find out things that you can do to help protect yourself in public, besides just the obvious of using hand sanitizer and wearing a mask and disinfecting. You know, just find out different things that you can do, like I have. And I wear the ionic necklace as well. I do not take it off. I don't take it off in the tanning bed either. I make sure it's in the right position, face up and facing forward, and I don't take it off. So as soon as my tanning bed goes off, I just immediately get out. I get dressed quickly and I'm out the door. So another cool thing about having the highest tanning membership is a lot of times, more often than not, your tanning beds, they put the nicer tanning beds towards the front, usually the more high quality ones, because they want people to see that, because it's kind of like a marketing technique, because people will see that and they'll be like, oh, I want to use that tanning bed or that one. So when you're closer to the front, near the door and stuff, there's more fresh air coming in and out every time somebody opens the door. So the closer to the door you are, and really this goes for anywhere you're at in public, in an enclosed building or location, if you can stay, the closer you can stay to the front door, the better. So, and it's just all these little things you think about, all these little things add up and really can help you. So it's just important to consider and think about these things, because, you know, I mean, you really can't be too diligent. But, you know, I don't judge people if people feel like there's something they absolutely have to do. Just be as smart about it as you possibly can. And I don't feel like going to the tanning salon is very risky if you take these precautions. Tanning salons in general also don't tend to be very crowded, just because honestly there aren't a whole lot of people these days that do tan. So I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, but I know 10-15 years ago tanning used to be a lot more popular, let's just say that. And then over the last 5 years or 10 years even, it's lost popularity quite a bit. So, you know, just thinking about things like that, and you know, not getting yourself in a crowd. But the same goes for anywhere. If I'm going to go somewhere, even the grocery store, running an errand, I am not going to go on a Saturday. I'm not going to go grocery shopping on a Sunday, because statistically Sunday is the biggest grocery shopping day of the week here in America, according to many studies that have shown that most Americans, for whatever reason, prefer to go to the store on Sunday. So I don't go on a Sunday. I will go to the tanning salon on a Sunday, but I won't go to the grocery store on a Sunday. So, you know, things like whatever it is you have to do, you know, it's just, if you can get out during the week, it's so much better. If you work all day and you're not able to get out during the early afternoon or the late morning, that's okay too. You can always go in the evening, but going on a weekday evening lot better than going on the weekend wherever you're going to go. So it's just proven fact, things are less crowded. And so for me, fortunately, I'm able to go to the store and do things that I need to do. Usually I prefer to do them in the early afternoon, but just slightly after the lunch hour. So like say most people have their lunch hour anywhere between, 11:30 and 1:30 or whatever. So I will usually go to the store or do my tanning somewhere in like the 2 o'clock hour, or maybe like the latter part of the 1 o'clock hour. And I find that that's the least crowded. Or, if you get going for your day a little bit earlier, I would also recommend maybe doing some time, like say in the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock hour. The 10 o'clock hour tends to also be pretty uncrowded in terms of, errands, things that you might need to do when you're out and about during the week. So, but yeah, I hope these tips can kind of help, and you can always do your research, and whatever store you want to go to or wherever you're going to be going, you can just Google it and look up, their hours and stuff. Like you can look up the busiest times, and it's so easy to do, but you can look up, how busy they are throughout the day, throughout their opening hours. It's really cool now that we can do that we have the technology to access that. So it's very, very helpful, tremendously. And so you can totally do that. And I feel like that's something that's just extremely beneficial. So, why not? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could be able to kind of recommend, but at this time I'm just not sure that I have anything else to add to that. So anyhow, I think that's really about all I have to say on my safety precautions for going to the tanning salon. And like I say, I know a lot of people will judge me for that, but that's just what I feel like I have to do, physically and mentally. It is so important to my health, physically and mentally. And it also helps you to get a lot of vitamin D, because like I've said before, so many studies have shown the severity of COVID-19. It's so important to get your vitamin D and make sure that you have plenty of it and a reserve of it, because it can help so much with not only the prevention of COVID-19, but making sure that you're having, basically help you to not have as severe as a case, lessen the severity of the case of COVID should you get it. So, and the studies are just really, really amazing. I mean, it's incredible. So the vitamin D is another thing. But anyhow, in this video, I'm not going to go into detail about why I tan or, anything like that. But yeah, so I hope these tips help. So, just to recap, I pick a day and a time that's uncrowded, just like with anything else. Always wear my ionic necklace at all times. Double mask up, wear my masks the whole entire time, even in the tanning bed. So lastly, I'll mention too, I keep my fan on while I'm in the tanning bed, not super full blast, but enough to where I'm getting good ventilation. You don't want to leave your fan completely off. And then I just get out of the tanning bed as quickly as I can. And I also bring my disinfecting wipes and my hand sanitizer, of course, and I use that while I'm in, after I touch the doorknob or whatever. And I bring my own eyewear, forgot to mention that. So, using like your own eyewear, wiping down the bed with, some alcohol wipes or whatever, whatever you have in your bag that you can bring with you. Because, if you're going to the right place, they're going to have good protocols, but you want to make sure that you are going to a place that has really good protocols. And secondly, that you are, bringing your own supplies as well, just because you don't know if the person might have been slacking off. You don't know anything. So it's just important to just assume that you need to be careful and that you need to take precaution and do everything you possibly can. So that's about it. And then just walk out and you're done. So it's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Don't get yourself in a crowd, don't get super close to anyone, and quite simply, just don't take your masks off, don't take your necklace off, just be diligent, and if you do these things, you should be fine. So hopefully this helps. It's pretty unorthodox tips. I feel like the tips I have to offer are pretty awesome, and I feel like they can be really helpful. So anyways, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.